In this video we shall discuss how to use stored functions for data control. In the first task we have to create a stored function that checks all three conditions from the task 1 from this topic. And this function should return a negative number modulo value of which is equal to the number of a violated condition. It asks for this condition violation we shall return -1, for this condition violation we shall return -2, for this condition violation we shall return -3, and if no condition is violated we shall return 1. The expected result here is self-explanatory. The function should return 1 if all conditions are met, and these values depending on the violated condition number otherwise. In all solutions for all DBMSs we shall use the same approach as in that topic, but here we do not block the operation, we only return the value. So we have to create such a function, and inside its body we have to declare the variable, and we shall initialize it with one value, it as no conditions are violated. Then we have to check if any condition is violated or not. If the first condition is violated, we shall switch the value of our variable to -1. If the second condition is violated, we shall use -2. If the third condition is violated, we shall use -3. And then we only have to return our variable. In Microsoft SQL Server the approach is the same. We are declaring the variable, we are checking for all three conditions, we are setting appropriate value for our variable, and then we are returning our variable. And for Oracle the approach is the same. Here we are declaring our variable, we are initializing it with one value, it as no condition is violated, then we are checking for all three rules, we are setting appropriate value for our variable, and we are returning our variable. In the second task we have to create a stored function that checks the condition from the first task of that topic. And the function should return 1 if the condition is met and 0 otherwise. Here is a quick reminder of that condition. The expected result is once again absolutely self-explanatory, so the function should return 1 if the condition is met and 0 otherwise. Like with the previous solution for previous task, the idea is the same. We use the approach we used in that topic, but here we do not block the operation, but we only return the value. And so in MySQL we have to check that condition that comes from the task. If the condition is met, we have to return 1, otherwise we have to return 0. With Microsoft SQL Server first we have to declare a variable, then we have to check for that condition that comes from the task, and we have to set that variable to 1 if that condition is met, or to 0 if that condition is violated. And finally we have to return that variable. And in Oracle the approach is the same. We have to check for that condition that comes from the task, and if it's met we have to return 1, otherwise we have to return 0. And that's all. But let's remember that it's always a good idea to execute these queries to create all those functions in your DBMS and to test them with your own queries.